There once was a TV show called Lost in Space. Created by Irwin Allen, it ran from 1965 to 1968. It was silly, it was campy, it was awesome. Cut to like 100 years later, and Hollywood got a genius idea. A big, expensive sci-fi epic movie with laser beams and robots and helmets that materialize on your face as if by magic, and spiders. Released in 1998, the Lost in Space movie starred... Wait a minute. That can't be right. Joey from France. Alright.
What?
Matt LeBlanc is Top Gun fighter pilot Major Don West, who is recruited to carry out an expedition whereby the Robinson family would open up some kind of hypergate somewhere because humanity is kind of screwed because pollution. So we're looking for a place far away to populate. Not that any of that matters, because that's not what the film is about. It's about being lost in space, which is also the title of the film. So much for that environmental message. The Robinson family includes most boring scientist in the world and all-around terrible father, Professor John Robinson, played by William Hurt, who usually acts in movies, but for whatever reason just decided to be in this one and nothing else.
I love you, wife.
Kinda like how trees are in forests but don't actually interact with bears and other forest creatures and such. William Hurt is that tree, is what I'm saying. Now, to be honest, I love William Hurt. I think he's really good in most things, but he clearly doesn't give a shit in this. And I kinda respect that. Mimi Rogers plays his wife Maureen, and Heather Graham his daughter Dr. Judy Robinson, who is relegated to little more than a feisty love interest for Matt LeBlanc, who is nothing but a disgusting pig. And not even in a charming way, like how Joey is kind of a pig, but it's okay because he's dumb and he cares more about food, and he's really nice and hilarious, and I love him. It's a shame because Heather Graham is one of the few actors who actually gives a sort of decent performance in this movie. Even if she is forced to say lines like,
I don't like the sound of that sound.
Cut, guys. I don't like the take of that take. Can we do that again? Oh boy. And then there's the two kids in the family. Will Robinson, a genius who can make robots and time machines and turn authority figures into bikini-wearing gorillas through perverted CGI. He has a bad father.
Pretty sharp stuff for a midget.
And then we got Penny, a squeaky-voiced chipmunk who has a video diary no one cares about and who is completely useless. Almost as useless as the ugly, badly CGI'd alien monkey she's made to babysit halfway through the movie.
Blarp?
Blarp indeed! Then there's the villain, the good old Dr. Smith, played by Gary Oldman, who is not quite as sassy and overdramatic as the original Dr. Smith.
Just you wait.
But who is still hilariously cartoonish. They try to make him seem more threatening, but he's not. He's just funny.
Never fear, Smith is here.
Oh, the pain. Oh, pain. And actually, by the end of the film, he's not just funny. He's a goldmine. I mean, he turns into a spider, for God's sake. A pregnant spider. Who wants to... I mean, listen.
Within these egg sacs grow the seeds of a master race of spiders.
What? Whose idea was this?
But then all of a sudden, like a giant fucking spider shows up.
Okay, so a lot happens in this movie, not all of it very useful. First, everyone is prematurely woken up by a hysterical robot trying to kill everyone. I know this because he reminds us of that constantly. Out loud.
Destroy, 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 destroy.
Oh, is that what you're trying to do? Okay then. Heather Graham's character almost dies, Dr. Smith is locked up in a room, and Matt LeBlanc flies the ship literally through the sun because they had to get lost in space somehow. They encounter a ship that turns out to be full of space spiders, one of which scratches Dr. Smith, thereby later turning him into this.
The pain. The pain.
And that's literally the only reason for the entire 20-minute sequence to actually exist. Even though Dr. Smith could have just been bitten by a spider at any point after that, so... I guess they find the monkey as well. Wait, I forgot he's a total waste of screen time. Not to mention decent hard-working animators. So by the time the plot finally kicks in, about half an hour before the end, you'll probably be wondering the following. Who wrote this bad script? Why is everything so bad? How could it be so bad? I kinda love all of this, even though it is rather bad in a lot of ways. The answer to who wrote this is Akiva Goldsman, who, only a year prior to writing Lost in Space, wrote the script for Batman and Robin. Of course Hollywood would give him a new franchise. Why wouldn't they? Batman and Robin is one of the most beloved sequels of... Oh. I forgot. The last half hour involves a, shall we say, highly unlikely time travel plot in which Will Robinson, who is now Jared Harris, somehow in the future ended up in a time bubble trying to create a time machine in order to go back and stop the expedition that led to his whole family dying. Which surely had nothing to do with that giant monster Sith Lord he's been hanging out with. Surely this ghoul is a good guy, right? That guy's cool, you know, even though, I mean, Dr. Smith did try to kill the family before he even was a spider, but, you know, he's never been more positive in his life about killing others. To be fair, they did give us some hints early on that even though Will is a genius, he's also kind of a dumbass.
Give me the gun.
Enable gun for all users.
He's only human, I guess. Which is more than I can say for this thing. This convoluted denouement leads to a bunch of stupid, pretty funny things happening, and everyone flying off into never accomplishing the mission they were sent out to achieve, and not even getting a sequel. Because this movie sucks. I love it, don't get me wrong, but it sucks. The writing is a complete mess, and the dialogues are mind-bending. It's like it was written by a giant spider. The story could have worked, I guess, and I like some of the ideas in it, like the time travel stuff, Dr. Smith turning into a monster, you know, spiders attacking the crew. I'm quickly running out of things to name. The way in which this story is told, however, is frankly lazy. So much of this movie is just random or could have been cut out entirely, and it should have been because it's only just over 2 hours long, but it feels much longer. The special effects are pretty cool at times. You can tell a lot of money went into this, from the fancy sets and costumes to the space set action scenes. And yet, at the same time, some of the effects looked either unfinished or plain awful. I liked how they tried to keep some of the stuff we liked about the original show, like some of Dr. Smith's classic lines or the robot.
Destroy Robinson family!
But it just doesn't work when everything else is so clumsy. Either go really campy with it or don't. But this in-between, let's have it both ways nonsense is not... it's not gelling, okay? Maybe if the writing had been better, but as it stands, no. Lost in Space feels like a B-movie, and not a good one at that. It's definitely deserving of the so bad it's good reputation it's gotten. It's so misguided, it's kind of charming, but not enough that it makes it a good film. It's still bad, but you can sit back and have fun with it at least. I can't, in good conscience, give this movie more than 1 spider out of 5. If you want, you can add an extra half spider for all the funny stuff. It's a poorly conceived project that needed a lot of fixing. It never really works, but like I said, gather some friends, open a 6-pack, and you'll have a good time. At the movie's expense, but still. Now, to be fair to the writer of this movie, he did redeem himself a little bit after that by writing... No, not that one. Nope. Oh yeah, some episodes of Fringe. That was a good show. Oh god, no. So, yeah. Fringe. From cringe to fringe. And we're back to cringe.
The pain. The pain.
Thanks for watching this video. If you liked it, leave a like because that adds value to me, I guess. And if you could subscribe, then I won't release a master race of spiders in your pants. And that's not euphemism. I have a bunch of spiders hatching in my butt right now. Ready to go. So, you know, subscribe, okay? Spiders!